YouTube, in from the bedroom here, guitar junkie with a little jazz fusion, yeah. Just downloaded it. First time playing to it. So that one, okay. Let me just do this here a little bit so people can hear me. On. Off. A bit of a pain. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so in the hopes that this is actually working, because I've done videos with the mic and I can't play the guitar with the mic on, so I have to either play before and then plug it in, or play after and plug it in. So, but then I've done videos and I don't watch them back. I just upload them right to YouTube, and then when I go on YouTube to do the finishing touches on it, I hit play just to hear how it sounds, and I've got nothing. Yeah. So what we have here, and I use that expression all the time. You know what movie that's from? Yeah. Write it in the comments. Yeah, and if you do write something in the comments, I will be one of the guys that answer. Yes, I am like that. I see plenty of YouTube videos where the guy says, "Oh, leave your whatever your thoughts in the comment," and then you type something, and I see not only is the YouTuber not answering my comment, but he's not answering anyone's comments. So why do you ask that? But anywho, yeah, I don't know what made me pull this thing out, but this is my Harley Benton, and I cannot pronounce it. I just call it my A guitar, because g'day, eh? It's all about. Let me see. Let me make it about. This is my about guitar, my A guitar. That was my impressions of a Canadian. So yeah, what we have here is a semi-hollow body, LP style. It's a little bit bigger than a Les Paul and way smaller than a 335. Semi-hollow body with, you know, the block of wood going right up to the tailpiece that gives you more sustain and cuts down on feedback. Yeah, feedback that you get with hollow body guitars, especially when you're playing through distortion, the dirty channel, or overdrive sometimes. And you know, you got your basic volume. Oh, I unplugged it already. And tone. And yeah, there is a coil split that splits the pickup. Gives you that single coil sound as well. What you say? Let's hear it. All right. So this is it. I was going straight through my amp, by the way. I have it echo like a. If you could hear it, you'd only hear it really because I have it tweaked for overdrive. You hear it? I have another channel that I use for. See that you could hear it. The volume is turned up a lot more on the clean channel for that, and that's the only time I use that. I've got the TC Electronics flashback triple delay, so the first channel is set for that slapback for clean stuff, and then the second one is what you just heard, and the third one is just a slight bit longer than the second one. But I like that, be able to switch without going down and turning up the volume or turning down the volume and this and that. But I'm constantly tweaking it, constantly changing it. And so yeah, I was running it straight through with my distorted channel on my DSL 100 head through my JCM 900 lead 1960 bottom cabinet that gives you a lot of low end. And when I play a lot of the fingering where I'm trying to run up and down the neck, a lot of times I'll rely on my fingers hitting the strings than my picking hand, because my right arm still isn't, you know, in working with the left. So then I'll put on my my Demon FX Andy Timmons clone overdrive pedal that's also got a clean boost that kind of breaks up clean channel, gives it a good raunchy kind of drive to it. just so that I have that extra, so I can do those harmonics, and I could do pull-offs, and I could just run up and down and not rely on hitting every string with the pick. But that's straight coming out of the amp. Anytime you hear me playing, I love these video guys that they're playing through a monster soundboard. Everything is mic'd, or most of them going through a computer, so everything sounds good. So what you're hearing, this is coming right out of my amp and into the guitar through my pedal board. And like I said, the two that I use all the time is the overdrive to stack it, because it's the law. You have to stack an overdrive pedal with an amp. You just you bring the gains down on both, stack them together, and it just together gives you that great sandwich, right? That monster rock sandwich. And that's it. So I'm not going through no special effects that's going to make everything sound good no matter what, like a processor would do. So back to the guitar. Yeah, I know you want to hear more. Oh, you want to hear the tap? See, I lose control of my mind. So that's tap. Right, middle. Neck. So yeah, that's that. And overdrive. Let me grab a pick. Give it some more volume. Middle. I always mess that up. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. Splitting the coils. All right. So back to the guitar. I know. I keep on losing track. That's what happens. It's got a maple top on here. That's just fits this guitar perfectly. It's got two of the best pickups that Tomans could ever put in their Harley Benton guitars, and that's the Tesla pickups. I swear by these. They're great. I wish they would put these in, or I wish I could replace these in some of the Harley Benton guitars that I have that have the Roswell pickups. Because unless you like, dirty, muddy, bass-drawn pickups, I guess they're great for metal or something like that. But they're not good for in my opinion, for rock or they're good for jazz too because of that. But I like that grit. I don't like it oversaturated. I like it just enough where it sounds good. So Tesla pickups, splittable. You've got the truss rod adjustment down here, which is great. And what do you notice about this guitar? It's a glue-in set neck guitar, right? That happens to be Tiger maple neck and fingerboard, baked, caramelled, roasted, whatever you want to call it, with 22 blacksmith jumbo, medium jumbo, stainless steel frets. Yeah, you've got what looks like to me glow-in-the-dark side inlay markers, slide markers, no inlay. Retract that. It's got a graphite Graphtec nut, and surprisingly enough, it's got locking, yes, Grover tuners. That is sweet. That is, I mean, the tuners, alone is, they are about $80-$90 just for the set. So yeah, and where are you gonna find a roasted maple neck and fingerboard on a set neck LP style semi-hollow body guitar? This is a very rare breed, this guitar, and it sounds pretty good acoustically. Yeah. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I'm finding out that I have to exercise my hands every day, probably because the arthritis that's not sitting in, and but this pinky, it just for some reason, like I tell the pinky to do something, and the brain sends the message down to the pinky, and the pinky gives me the middle finger back saying, "Screw you, pal, I ain't doing that." But yeah, it's just not that, and my thumb. It's like these are the three fingers I could trust. My thumb, a lot of times I'll do a chord and it's going over the top of the neck. I've always put it behind it, like in the classical position. And when I start the chord, sometimes I can't even move it. I'm like dragging it, and then I gotta hold it in place. It's crazy, right? Old age, it sucks getting old. Yeah, and the pinky, a quick story on the pinky. I want to make sure that my wife's not on break. I can hear it because she hates when I tell it. Back in the 80s, I started with a ping pong ball, putting it between my pinky to stretch it. And I went from a ping pong ball to a tennis ball, and I could put a tennis ball in there and stretch and just hold it, just stick it in there and just sit, watch TV for like an hour and leave it in there. Just like how I used to stretch my legs for martial arts, for doing high kicks, even though you don't need to do it, but you want to be able to do it. And I'm walking with her. Every 8th is our anniversary, so every 8th we were going to Port Jeff on Long Island, New York, for our 8th, and our annual dinner. And we're walking through the town after dinner, and she, instead of holding my hand, she holds my pinky. So as soon as she did that, I said, "Whatever you do, be careful with that pinky." And she goes, "What, like this?" And wrenches the freaking pinky. I mean, you heard a snap, crackle, pop. It hurt. And I grabbed it and I'm holding it, and she's like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And I told you to watch my pinky. I thought you were kidding. So I told her the whole story. Now I bring this story up every now and again, in front of friends when it comes to just our dating history or something like that. I'll bring it up, and she hates it. She's like, "Oh, you got to bring that story up again." But yeah. You wrenched my pinky. Years of stretching that pinky, where I could, I'm doing it like this now, but that's really hard, and it hurts. It hurts right in here for some reason, but I can't make this pinky go there and use it like it used to. And I see these other guys playing, and I'm like, because I was, Glenn Campbell said, make sure you use all 4 fingers on that fingerboard, and I started with a song that I started using all 4 fingers on, and I never stopped. And then I was like, in the 80s, you're seeing these guys, so like I gotta stretch that finger so I can really get down there, especially when you're up here closer to and you want to get to those frets. Down here it's a little bit easier, but up here they're farther apart, and I'm like, let me get that stretch, And now just doing that, man, I feel pain as if, as if I broke my finger right there. But I can't make it move like I want it to. So, yeah. Side note, so if you want to stretch those fingers, start with a ping pong ball, a light plastic ping pong ball. Just sit it in there for like an hour a day for about a week. And then, work your way up to a tennis ball, and when you get a tennis ball in there, and then see, I can't even do it like I want it. I can make it like that, but man, it used to, see how much more it used to go without pulling the 3rd finger down. So that's that. Yeah, Harley Benton. See, this guitar, I believe, goes for like 300, 350 maybe, and change, brand new, plus $70, $80 shipping from Germany. And yeah, so this is an inexpensive guitar. This guitar, I believe, was and still is cheaper than the Steve Brown Sound SBS from Guitar Fetish guitar, and I don't have to do a thing to it. I've got stainless steel frets. I got a Graph Tech nut. I've got locking Drover tuners. I've got killer Tesla pickups that are splittable, and I've got a roasted maple neck and fingerboard, with glow-in-the-dark side markers. And I didn't have to do a thing to it. Didn't have to change anything. Didn't have to do anything. Tuners are great. Pickups are great. Wiring is great. Yeah. So that's that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day. And a better tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bios con Dios. Muchachos, señorita, compañero. Come on. Okay, I just got to push the button.